Okay, everyone, that's a wrap on the Game Awards. Decent show for reveals, but I am here to go down my top 10 announcements from world premieres to new trailers. I'm going to go back to my roots on this one, since that's how things came to be when I named my channel ReActionExaminer, along with some other factors. Anyway, no scripts, just me blurting out whatever that comes to my head. Also, past this intro, no gameplay because I want to avoid copyright strikes from trailer footage. So, just picks for now, and hopefully that's not going to tick anybody off. Okay? Please let that be okay, publishers. Okay? Anyway, in order, let's count down my top 10, starting with one I hesitate to put on here, OD from Hideo Kojima, because it's not really a game. I don't know what it is. He shows some test footage of actors, with the last being Udo Kier, who's this admittedly legendary character actor that hasn't really been in anything for a long time, and you've definitely seen him and stuff. He's just kind of always around. I feel like 80s, 90s, a little in 2000s, just like, oh, hey, look, it's Udo Kier. If you know, you know. Kind of a big reveal that Jordan Peele's working on the game. It's part of the Xbox Studios though, so I have like no faith in Xbox getting something off the ground, and because Kojima's also working on Death Stranding too, I'm kind of like, when is this thing coming out? Is it gonna be the Xbox Series next, whatever the hell we're calling that next one? Uh, yeah, but just I guess quick shout out to that, I suppose. Moving on, number 9, I got to give to Blade. Another teaser that was nothing, but it's cool that they're making a Blade game. This is coming from Arcane Leon, the team, Arcane Studios. They do Dishonored. Uh, uh, I'm blanking. See, this is off the script. I have no research. I'm blanking on all the games they've made. Yeah. Anyway, again, just a quick shout out. They're making a Blade game. That sounds rad. They said it's going to be mature too, so they're not going to be pulling any punches. Let some weak ass teen rated Blade game. That would suck. That movie also be rated R. Also, it'd be rated. Let's just move on. I'm stumbling here. Number 8, Pony Canyon 2 Panda Circus looks bonkers. Now, this is from an independent developer, Daniel Mullins. I've never played any of his games. I've kind of seen things from afar. I've looked into Inscription, which was his last game. Looked very beyond me because there was like an AR thing to it. It looked like a game that was too dumb to play because you really had to like pay attention to get like the true ending and dive in deep, look at YouTube videos, creators of YouTube videos just diving deep into this game, and I assume that Pony Canyon 2 is going to be the exact same thing, but looks crazy, looks wild. I'm probably not going to get it, as in my brain won't get it, but I'd love to play it. Moving on, we have number 7, Visions of Mana. I did not expect this game at all to be making a new Mana game, coming next year apparently. Looks cool. It's an open world Mana game with true action combat, a delightfully bright and cheery world. I guess the Trials of Mana remake did well enough for them to try this again. Mana's been in a weird hole before that remake came out, and someone apparently at Square Enix was like, let's get this Mana train back on the tracks. And yeah, I'd love to see where this one goes. I don't have a lot to say about it. They actually showed quite a bit of gameplay, but let's get it back on track ourselves here with number 6, No Rest for the Wicked. This is from the Ori guys, which I will admit I really wasn't into the 2 Ori games, the art style, but something threw me off about the whole thing. This game I'm down with, just a hardcore action RPG top down. Not hardcore as in, I guess hardcore would be like Dark Souls, but, true fantasy. I like the art style, what's happening here. I love the song that accompanied the trailer. Just really put me in the mood, and I'm just really hoping for just a crazy Celtic adventure. Yeah, again, they showed quite a bit of gameplay, and yet I have nothing to say because I'm just trying to go off my memory of what they, showed, but all I can remember is the song. Okay, we're at the halfway point here with Rise of the Roman coming at number 5. When this game was first shown, I think at one of Sony's press conferences from perhaps this year, just a very quick trailer for that, I was sold. Koei Tecmo, Team Ninja, the Neo guys, they love their samurais right now, apparently. So I'm down for this one for sure. I don't know if this is true, but to me, because of like the kite mechanics and the grappling hook, it just, I'm thinking, is this going to be Samurai Breath of the Wild? If that's the case, I'm very down. Number 4 is the last game of the show, Monster Hunter Wilds. At first, I thought it was like another Final Fantasy game. Part of me thought, oh, is this the Final Fantasy IX remake that was rumored? But it looked too real, so I was like, please don't be the remake. And there's a guy coming in with a Sandstorm, and he's riding a chocobo, and I was like, wow, this is Final Fantasy something. And then a giant monster appeared. I'm like, oh, duh, this is Monster Hunter something. And also, like, way to just rip off chocobos there, Capcom. Even though there were giant bird-like things before Final Fantasy. Nazca, Valley of the Wind, the Ghibli movie / manga before that. They have weird chocobo-like birds. I can't remember what they're called in that, and I'm sure there was something before that even. The game looks cool. More Monster Hunter, sure. I'm curious how open it's going to be. And there's a lot of monsters kind of just going around. So, is that going to be cannon fodder? Or is this going to be more of a non-multiplayer focused thing? I don't know. But I am curious. Let's just say that. Number 3, the Sega montage. Now, before the show, there was memes going online on Twitter, or X, whatever the hell we're supposed to call it now. People getting these Sega announcements that a new age was going to begin, or new era, something like that. And I thought, is this just like a Sonic teaser for some other new Sonic game that's going to get low scores? Maybe not low scores, like, mediocre scores in 2024, something like that. I was being very pessimistic in my own head. Part of me wanted it to be the Persona 6 trailer, but then I thought, well, they're not going to eat their own tail by, showing Reload, or announcing 6 when Reload's not even out yet. So I didn't know what to expect, and then maybe I thought, Metaphor ReFantazio might have been part of that, but no, that wasn't it either. It was a montage of Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Shinobi, and Streets of Rage. 5 games that Sega is working on at the moment in different development processes. So they didn't say which one is going to be out first, or if they're all going to be out within next year, and there's supposed to be more coming as well. I write for Game Rant as well, so I'm definitely going to go down the bizarre Sega channels to see, like, okay, what things should they bring back? I mean, that's a classic group of Sega franchises that have been dead forever. People especially have been really wanting Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi. And Streets of Rage did have a really good side-scroller come out, so that's the most recent game. So it's kind of strange that they are making another one, since they're kind of touting as like, look at all these dead franchises, Streets of Rage, and but still very cool. It's awesome that a big Japanese company like this is reaching down into the vault to, pay tribute to their franchises like this. A lot of Japanese companies aren't really doing that, Capcom's really killing it with a lot of their stuff, with all the Resident Evil remakes and the new Resident Evils. Monster Hunter, again, looks amazing. But then when it comes to older things like Mega Man, where is that? Where's so many other franchises? Konami, don't even get me started on Konami. It's just, it'd be really nice if these Japanese companies would just, go back into the vault. And, I'm not expecting AAA God of War style giant games like bring Golden Axe back and have it be a God of War, or have Shinobi be a Ghost of Tsushima. It doesn't need to be that, okay? Just smaller little games just to show that, we care. Hey, we're Sega, we care, and hopefully they're good. I'll get off my soapbox now. So number 2, also Sega related, with Atlus's Metaphor ReFantazio, which is the Persona team. It's their shot at making a completely new franchise, even though it looks like Persona meets Shin Megami Tensei, but with a more medieval and angel twist, which I guess is also Shin Megami Tensei. But the combat's action-based. That's awesome. Again, this is another trailer with amazing music. It was an English dub, so that's cool. It's everything looks great about it. I mean, if you love Persona, I think this looks so good. And it's nice that they're embracing action combat. I don't want all RPGs going forward to be action combat, but it is nice to see companies, branch out. Same thing with Square Enix, it would be nice to see. They still do turn-based combat with Octopath Traveler 2, which just came out this year, of course. And, next to something huge like Final Fantasy 16, which had action combat. So it's good to, piggyback, I guess, off of genres and types and whatnot. So, yeah, that looks rad. But, of course, speaking of Square Enix, number 1 has to be Final Fantasy 7, which I can get on a soapbox again because, of course, this is number 1. If you've paid attention to my channel, my writing, anything, you know that Final Fantasy 7 is just like my GOAT of all time, my game of the ever. I am obsessed with it. I love it. I grew up with it. It's meant so much to me along, everyone says that, right? It means so much to a lot of people, but, no, I am the number 1 fan. No one is better than me. No, of course not. I'm sure there are a lot more, I don't want to say obsessed people, because that would be demeaning. I don't want to demean any of the other rad fans out there. But I'm sure there are other people that, actually have impacted them a little bit more than me. But for, again, rambling, get back to my head script here. Yeah, I could not believe that they showed a new trailer in the middle of this musical montage. And just a sly, like hey, look, here's Vincent's face. Hey, look, here's Sid's face. Hey, we're going to Rocket Town, which I didn't know if we were, based off the last trailer. Also, hey, look, I made this prediction. I don't know what it is. I think it might have been a podcast that my friend Shane and I did when we wrapped up the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Or it might have been an article. It was somewhere I said, I made a prediction that Jesse is going to be in the team that they beat the final boss of Final Fantasy VII, and then they went through like a portal thing, and I'm like, okay, they're like in another dimension now, and this dimension they're gonna get to Golden Saucer, and it's gonna reveal then that it's another dimension because they're gonna meet Jesse. I swear to God, it's somewhere. I have to find the footage somewhere. I predicted that. I don't know if anyone else predicted that, but that was my prediction, that Jesse was going to be at Golden Saucer. I'm sure other, again, smart people could figure that stuff out. But then they didn't really pay too much attention in the trailer. Then I thought, am I missing things? Is that actually Aerith as well? Because Aerith is the one singing, but I swear she's a backup dancer. She's in there. And then so many other Golden Saucer moments. It's just, it's a delight. It looks amazing. And we're going to get to play it in a couple months. Speaking of, February looks disastrous in terms of things being crammed together. Persona 3 Reload, which I briefly mentioned, that's coming out the 2nd, I believe, of February. So I have a giant RPG in the beginning and a giant RPG at the end, but I think there's like a bunch of other ones that I'm blanking on now that are in between there. Something was announced that it's coming out the exact same day as Persona 3 Reload, and I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. I wish they would space things out more, or, announce delays. Thank you. Can these developers just talk to each other? Just one game a week. One game. Small games, sure. But one AAA game a week. My God. But what else in that trailer? Yeah, I think Final Fantasy VII speaks for itself. And again, I've been rambling a long time, and that was the Game Awards. Everyone that won, I have separate opinions about that. But ultimately, who cares? The Game Awards can have their own awards. I'm going to have my own awards. You're going to have your own awards. Let's just love video games, okay? Let's love in a healthy way. Let's not shoot fire on any of the social media platforms that X should have won instead of Z or, whatever. But I've been talking for far too long. This has been ReActionExaminer. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.